Shout out to Tunde. What's up, Moist fam? I'm back. This video is the dark side of the music industry, the rap industry and stuff like that. What goes on mostly behind closed doors. I'm hoping this is what it consists of. And without further ado, we're gonna get straight into this video.
Agree that rap music is filled with some very disturbing stories. Stories of rappers who made certain titled song, then ended up missing later. Stories of rappers who not only predicted where they died, but what they'll be wearing on the day of their death. Stories of rappers who were reported dead but may still be alive. Stories of clones. Some of these may be conspiracies, some of them may not. I don't want to hold you up. Join me as we deep dive into the many conspiracies of rap.
Okay, come on, let's go.
There's been theories that when certain rappers are released from jail, they were somebody else, or it's somebody else playing
He
their
whispering.
identity.
Okay, here we go.
For example, Gucci Mane.
Mm-hmm.
On May 2016, a video will be posted on Gucci's Instagram.
The Wizard, you a free man, baby. Talk to your fans, honey.
Yo, I already pushed a girl out the car for not wanting to give him head. I ain't gonna lie, that's crazy.
First day out.
First day out the feds.
Gucci was incarcerated for 3 years.
It's terrible place to be.
Yeah, it ain't no place to be. I've been there too. It ain't no
it's
fun.
No fun.
And you
in
can't
it.
leave. You know what I'm
And you
saying? That's
can't
the
leave.
thing. You can't go record. You
It's
can't.
like torture.
And compared to when Gucci was arrested back in 2013, he looked like a whole new, different man. In fact, people were saying the Gucci that we now know is in fact the rapper Hopsin. A YouTuber by the name of Conscious X made a video titled Hopsin is Gucci Mane, and in his 30-minute video is a list of evidence as to why Hopsin could be playing Gucci Mane. I'll let Conscious do some of the talking.
Now, clearly this is not the same person, especially in this picture. You can tell right away in this picture, this is not the real Gucci Mane. Gucci Mane didn't even have a beard.
One of the claims is that if Gucci Mane had lost weight, the size of his lips would still be the same.
Look, his lips were completely different. Hopsin has skinnier lips. The real Gucci Mane didn't have a beard at all. His lips were way bigger. So even if you lose weight, you don't lose the size of your lips. You know what I mean? I don't care how much weight you lose, your lips are still gonna be the same.
Another claim was that the name Hopsin tells the tale.
You know, his name is Hopsin, right? So he hops in a bodysuit and becomes Gucci, right?
Come on.
This gets even more weirder after a music video would be released by Gucci Mane called The First Day Out the Feds.
My will.
20 seconds in the music video, there will be 4 Gucci clones kind of telling us that he got cloned. Fact here is that Gucci was arrested in 2013, but just a year before that, Hopsin would be arrested as well. However, a few years later in 2015, Hopsin would release his own clone music video.
I mean, didn't actual people from the government come out because the rumors was so strong that they denied it? Like they came out was like, yo, somebody from a part of the government came out and like denied the rumors.
It's the Pound Syndrome.
Where in his music video, he was actually undergoing a cloning process.
What is in me? Everything I had bottled up, pukes out when the pen bleeds. You drown from a 16, who's doubt in the 60?
This
never even
music
heard of
video
Hopsin.
even gets more strange as they would show the whole process of Hopsin being cloned, and then surgeons implanting chips in his brain.
The pound. Unbelievable Pound Syndrome.
And moments later in that same music video, they would attach a random body to Hopsin.
What is in me? Everything I had bottled up, pukes out when the pen bleeds.
Then to wrap up this conspiracy, in a Breakfast Club interview, Ebro would ask Wiz Khalifa if he has ever met a clone.
This is one
Have
of
I
the
met a
most
clone?
intense
Yeah, I
combos.
think I met some clones before.
See? So
Really?
there's clones amongst us.
Wiz Khalifa would go on to say the phrase Gucci cologne.
Yeah, man, get Gucci cologne.
No, right. Not the Gucci cologne, Gucci clone.
Maybe hinting at the fact that Gucci was the clone he had met. Prior to this interview, Gucci Mane and Wiz Khalifa had both been in the same song together. These evidence
I like that song.
definitely gives
Baby, I'm a rich ass nigga. I never said I was gonna be easy to deal with.
goosebumps. Because at the end of the day, we never really knows what goes on behind the scenes.
True.
It's always been a weird phenomenon how rappers end up predicting their death. It's like they knew when their time would come. Takeoff, for example. Would you believe me if I told you in Takeoff's latest album, there's one song on there, and what are the odds that the name of this song is 230? This becomes more messy as hours before Takeoff died, him and his nephew Quavo would both release a music video titled Messy. In this music video, Quavo is seen with a gun and a contract that had Migos written in bold. Then immediately after, the camera pans to Takeoff, who is standing next to a Grim Reaper sign with the word RIP on it. Then to add icing to the cake, the length of the song is the number 333, a number that is often associated with cultism.
Oh.
You can say the same for XXXTentacion, who, while alive, predicted his own death many times and knew he wasn't making it past the age of 27. In a posthumous song titled Train Food, X described meeting a mysterious man who his name is Death.
There he was. His presence was alarming. As he approached was casual, we talked about self-harming.
Death takes X away and kills him on the train track. But the weird part is, in the lyrics, X says Death took him away and kills him on the train tracks. And he also says in the lyrics that the train tracks is 30 minutes away from his house.
How far are you from home? I said, maybe 30 minutes.
Now, come the day of X's death, he walked alone, not having any security with him. He died at Reaver Motorsports, which had train tracks just right across the street. Then, the location where he died was just about 25 minutes away from his house. In the song he says, I was dressed for winter weather, but the summer rays were kissing me. Guess what? X died in broad daylight with a sweater and a jacket on. Not mentioning his song called Sad, where in the music video, X was literally looking at himself in a casket.
Yeah.
X, Takeoff, and many other rappers like Juice WRLD, who himself said he wasn't making it past If there's money, everything can be bought. Views, streams, Grammys, and even first week sales. All of those can be bought. Let's say we don't want a Grammy right now, but we want to increase our views as well as our Spotify streams. Well, what if I told you there was a way of doing so? This is a farm. This is not your average type of farm. This is what we call a stream farm. Streaming farms are services made to mimic a person listening to a song hundreds of times.
Is people who have all kinds of old-ish cell phones, normally broken cell phones, and they use these systems for things like, in this case, this is in China, and they're using this as a click farm. Every time they get a click, they get some money. This is a situation where people are either, I think they're mining cryptocurrencies and viewing ads right now.
In basic terms, they are
So how does it
adding
get
a lot
controlled?
of fake listens to a song. On season 2 of Viceland's Black Market, actor Michael K. Williams would run into hitting illegal stream farms just right in a garage in New York.
A recording artist will come to you and pay you to sit here and stream their music to run the numbers up.
Yep, yeah, just basically just run the numbers up. Some people will ask for 100K, 200K, just to get really the appearance of their music to look good when people go to their page. Oh, this song has X amount of plays, let me listen to it.
I want to come to you and buy 100,000 streams. How much would what would that look like?
Typically probably around $1,500.
Wow.
1,500.
Stream farms
Damn.
are being used by unknown artists to get signed, while music labels are using them to keep their artists hot.
Streaming farmers are the engine of a booming black market. where music artists are faking their way to the top of the charts.
When you inflate your streaming numbers and a song gets enough streams, it could break into charts, land spots on editorial playlists, and even lead to Spotify or iTunes recommending your song. J. Cole wasn't reaching when he said how many faking their streams, getting their plays from machines. On January 6, 2020, French Montana would get busted for faking a Spotify streams, then go on to say his Spotify got hacked. Just the year prior, on March 10, 2019, G-Eazy in a leaked 100-minute phone call, the world would find out that he was also faking his own streams. But while G-Eazy had been faking streams, Don Toliver on his end was not doing things right. A Twitter user that went by the name of Fitz Bryce would post strong evidences proving Don Toliver was clearly buying views for his music video, Do It Right. What Bryce and many other rap fans pointed out was, if you looked under Don Toliver's comments, there were lengths and lengths of emoji comments from bot accounts that clearly weren't real. And if we compare a music video of Don Toliver to that of The Weeknd.
How about The Weeknd? The Weeknd dropped the Out of Time music video over 7 months ago. That music video is sitting at 64 million views, over 1.3 million likes. Seems about right. The Weeknd's view to like ratio has always been extremely high. He's just one of those artists who got it like that. Now, how many comments does The Weeknd's music video have? Well, the Out of Time music video is currently sitting at 40,000 comments, and that is a lot. Don Toliver, on the other hand, had 24,000 comments after only 4 days. Again, I don't really think I need to explain why that ratio is not right.
Rappers buying views is clearly weird. Own up to your fault. Is it not weird how every mainstream rapper who made a song titled Armed and Dangerous either ends up deceased or in jail? This has become a curse in rap. Pop Smoke, dead.
Armed and Dangerous,
dead. King Von, dead. Chinks, dead. Glock
Chinks
9,
made Armed and
jail.
Dangerous?
Pooh Shiesty, jail. It's something definitely strange with that title. And you know who else is strange? Meek Mill. Now, I don't know if this man had gotten cloned in jail, but he happens to always be doing things only a video game character would be caught doing. This is Meek Mill in a pool with french fries all over his leg. If you ask me, that right there screams clone behavior. Another clone behavior is this clip right here.
Go for it.
In my 22 years of living, I've never seen a full-grown man front flip into a pool like that. Meek Mill doesn't just stop at the dive though. He'd once be spotted in the wild, hanging upside down from a bamboo tree. How is Meek this flexible? In this last clip, you can see the same Meek Mill
this one too,
hopping on a trampoline and doing a wild front flip onto a hard floor. Now, please tell me.
Gotta talk about the bunny
rappers do
hopping
you see
too.
Doing what Meek Mill is doing. But enough of Meek Mill. Let's talk about something serious. Years ago, there was a confidential, secretive letter that leaked onto the internet. The contents of this letter was written by someone with a prestigious role in the music industry. This person was a decision maker for a major record label. The things this person revealed in this letter were rather sad, but shocking and eye-opening. In the letter, he would write, "Hello, after more than 20 years, I finally decided to tell the world what I witnessed in 1991, which I believe was one of the biggest turning points in popular music and ultimately American society. I have struggled for a long time weighing the pros and cons of making this story public, as I was reluctant to implicate the individuals who were present that day. So I've simply decided to leave out the names and all the details that may risk my personal well-being, since technology and media weren't accessible to people like they are today. The industry had more control over the public and had the means to influence them any way it wanted. This may explain why in early 1991, I was invited to attend a closed-door meeting with a small group of music business insiders to discuss rap music's new direction. Little did I know that we would be asked to participate in one of the most unethical and destructive business practices I've ever seen. I remember about 25 to 30 people being there, most of them familiar faces. Speaking to those I knew, we joked around about the theme of the meeting, as many of us did not care for rap music and failed to see the purpose of being invited to a private gathering to discuss its future. Among the attendees was a small group of unfamiliar faces who stayed to themselves and made no attempt to socialize beyond their circle. Based on their behavior and formal appearances, they didn't seem to be in our industry. Our casual chatter was interrupted when we were asked to sign a confidentiality agreement, preventing us from publicly discussing the information presented during this meeting. Needless to say, this intrigued and in some cases disturbed many of us. The agreement was only a page long, but very clear on the matter and consequences, which stated that violating the terms would result in a job termination. We asked several people what this meeting was about and the reason for such secrecy, but couldn't find anyone who had answers for us. A few people refused to sign and walked out. No one stopped them. I was tempted to follow, but curiosity got the best of me. A man who was a part of the unfamiliar group collected the agreements from us. Quickly after the meeting began, one of my industry colleagues, who I will not say his name, thanked us for attending. He then gave the floor to a man who only introduced himself by his first name and gave no further details about his personal background. I think he was the owner of the residence, but it was never confirmed. He briefly praised all of us for the success we had achieved in the industry and congratulated us for being selected as a part of this small group of small decision makers. At this point, I begin to feel slightly uncomfortable.
Didn't Bone Thugs and Harmony or somebody speak about something like this a long time ago?
Comfortable at the strangeness of this gathering. The subject quickly changed as the speaker went on to tell us that the respective companies we represented had invested in a very profitable industry, which could become even more rewarding with our active involvement. He explained that the companies we work for had invested millions into the building of privately owned prisons and that our positions of influence in the music industry.
They say Michael Jordan and invested with that too.
Would actually impact the profitability of these investments. I remember many of us in the group immediately looking at each other in confusion. At the time, I didn't know what a private prison was, but I wasn't the only one. Sure enough, someone asked what these prisons were and what any of this had to do with us. We were told that these prisons were built by privately owned companies that received funding from the government based on the number of inmates. The more inmates, the more money the government will pay these prisons. It was also made clear to us that since these prisons are privately owned, as they become publicly traded, we'll be able to buy shares. Most of us were taken back by this. Again, a couple of people asked what this had to do with us. At this point, my industry colleague who had first opened the meeting took the floor again and answered our questions. He told us that since our employers had become silent investors in this prison business, it was now in their interest to make sure that these prisons remained filled. Our job would be to help make this happen by marketing music that promotes criminal behavior, and rap being the music of choice. He assured us that this would be a great situation for us because rap music was becoming an increasingly profitable market for our companies, and as employees would also be able to buy stocks in these prisons. Immediately, silence came over the room. You could have heard a pin drop. I remember looking around to make sure I wasn't dreaming and saw half of the people with dropped jaws. My daze was interrupted when someone shouted, "Is this a joke?" At this point, things became chaotic. Two of the men who were part of the Unfamiliar group grabbed the men who shouted out and attempted to remove him from the house. A few of us, myself included, tried to intervene. One of them pulled out a gun and we all backed off. They separated us from the crowd and all 4 of us were escorted outside. My industry colleague who had opened the meeting earlier hurried out to meet us and reminded us that we had signed an agreement and would suffer the consequences of speaking out about this publicly or even with those who attended the meeting. I asked him why he was involved with something this corrupt, and he replied that it was bigger than the music business and nothing we'd want to challenge without risking the consequences. I considered speaking out publicly at the risk of losing my job, but I realized I'd probably be jeopardizing more than my job, and I wasn't willing to risk anything happening to my family. I thought about those men with guns and wondered who they were. I had been told this was bigger than the music business, and all I could do was let my imagination run free. There were no answers and no one to talk to. I tried to do a little bit of research on private prisons, but didn't uncover anything about the music business involvement. However, the information I did find confirmed how dangerous this prison business really was. Days turned into weeks and weeks into months. Eventually, it was as if the meeting had never taken place. It all seemed surreal. I became more reclusive and stopped going to any industry events unless professionally obligated to do so. On 2 occasions, I found myself attending the same function as my former colleague. Both times, our eyes met, but nothing more was exchanged. As the months passed by, rap music had definitely changed direction. I was never a fan of it, but even I can now tell the difference. After this meeting, music that talked about politics or harmless fun were quickly fading away as gangster rap started dominating the streets. At this point, only a few months had passed since that meeting, and it was clear that the ideas presented during that meeting had been successfully implemented. Everyone bought into rap music, and at this point in the story, violence and drugs now became a central theme in most rap music. Still till today.
I mean, it explains why Tupac said in one of his, well, in a recent documentary I reacted to, that like as rappers, you're just selling an image. This is not who you really are.
No one knows who wrote this letter. The anonymous nature of the letter had led many to dismiss it as a bogus piece of conspiracy theory. Around 16th of June 2021, different, never seen pictures of Tupac would start spreading online. This was around his birthday, and these pictures that were appearing all over social media seemed very new, like they were taken with modern cameras. I mean, these pictures were fresh. Someone would even tweet, "Tupac has too many fresh pictures. It's starting to get suspicious." Then another saying, "Tupac has better quality pictures than Michael Jackson and me." But Tupac died in 1996. Michael Jackson died in 2009, and I'm still alive. I'm pretty sure if Tupac was still alive, where would he be? And most importantly, how hasn't he been recognized yet? I'll leave these up to you to answer.
I don't know.
Rap in general is a dangerous game, filled with many stories that I could not even cover with just one video. What other stories do you know about the rap game that gives you chills? Let me know in the comments. It's been nice. I'll see you guys on the next one.
I appreciate you. Let me know what y'all think about this whole thing in the rap industry in general. I know this is a topic that a lot of people be having comments on. Let me know what y'all think about certain rappers and how they death, came about, things like that. With that being said, I appreciate y'all for the love and support. Got a lot of bangers dropping tomorrow. Love is love. I'm gonna catch you on the next video.